Welcome to the Granny Square series. In this video you can learn how to make this lovely small circle inside a square. It's similar to this larger circle that we made several months back now, and I'm going to make this one in the same colour. I'm using the stone wash range with the moonstone, and I'll be using a 4mm hook. So let's get started. To start, we're going to make a double magic circle. You can do a chain 3 or 4 and slip stitch instead if you prefer. Chain 1, and then we're going to make, for round 1, we're going to be using US doubles, UK trebles, and we're going to make 12 stitches in total. So however you like to make your first stitch, your starting stitch, go ahead and do that. And then we're going to make 11 US doubles, UK trebles. So there'll be 12 stitches all together. Yeah. So if you're making along, you can press pause, and I'll see you at the end of the round. When you've made your last stitch, just count to check that you've got 12 stitches in total, and then we'll tighten up the circle. Yeah. And we will slip stitch to join. And there's round 1. For round 2, we're going to chain 1, and again make your first stitch however you like to do that. We're using US doubles, UK trebles. Again, we're going to be making 2 stitches into each of these stitches here, so we'll have 24 stitches at the end of round 2. So I'm going to go ahead and make my starting stitch, and then I'm going to make a second stitch in that stitch from round 1. Then in the next stitch we're going to make 2 US doubles, UK trebles, in the next stitch 2 US doubles, UK trebles, and so on. So we're going to go all the way round, making 2 stitches in each stitch. Yeah. If you're making along, you can press pause, and I'll see you at the end of the round. When you get to the end of the round, count your stitches. You should have 24 in total, and then we're going to slip stitch to join. So I like to go into the next stitch, not the stitch right next to where I'm finishing, but the stitch along, and then that slip stitch becomes the top of the stitch in between. So that's how it should look at the end of round 2. For round 3, we're going to now square our circles. This is always my favourite round. So we're going to chain 1, and in that first stitch we're going to make 2 US singles, UK doubles. Yeah. In the next stitch we're going to make a half US double, UK treble. In the next stitch along we're going to make a US double, UK treble. And we're now at our first corner. So in here we're going to make a US treble, UK double treble. to chain 2, and we're going to make a second US treble, UK double treble into that same stitch. So there's our corner. In the next stitch, we're going to make a US double, UK treble. Let me just grab some slack on my yarn. We're then going to make in the next stitch, a US half double, UK half treble. And then we're back, that's our full repeat. So we're back now to the beginning. We're going to make 2 US singles, UK doubles. In that one stitch, 2 little stitches in that one stitch. In the next stitch, we make a half US double, UK treble. In the next stitch, a US double, UK treble. And we're now at our next corner. So we're going to make in the next stitch there, we're going to make a US treble, UK double treble. Chain 2. And we make a second US treble, UK double treble into that same stitch as the one before. Next stitch, a US double, UK treble. Next stitch, a half US double, UK treble, half UK treble. And then back to our beginning of our next repeat. So 2 US singles, UK doubles into that same, to the next stitch together, not stitches together, but in there together. And then we're going to work up to the corner. So we make a US half double, UK half treble. Then in the next stitch, a US double, UK treble. And we're at our next corner. So I'm going to carry on. If you're making along, you can press pause. And I'll see you at the end of the round. So at the end of the round, we have a square. We're going to slip stitch to join. And on each edge of the square, you should have 8 stitches. So now for round 4, we're going to chain 1. And then we're going to make a US double, UK treble in each of these stitches, and then in the corners we will make 2 stitches, chain 2, 2 stitches. So make your first starting stitch however you like. If you like to use chains, go ahead, and then we just go along making a US double, UK treble in each stitch. When we get to the corner, we're going to make 2 US doubles, UK trebles. Chain 2. And then 2 more stitches. If you have quite loose tension with your chains, you might prefer to just do chain 1. That's up to you. And then we'll go ahead and stitch in all the stitches of the second edge. So if you're making along, you can press pause, and I'll see you at the end of the round. So when you get to the end of the round, we're just going to slip stitch to join. And there we have all 4 rounds. So I'm using the, whoops, there's a little fluff on there. I'm using the slip stitch and chain method to join my squares. So for rounds 5 and then this chain, you can see the joining tutorial. And I'll see you in the next video.